What's up, you guys? Steven back again with Magic Metal Money. Wizards is at it again. We got 4 new Secret Lairs to talk about, and whether you love Secret Lair or hate them, one thing's for sure, they're not going anywhere anytime soon. So about a week ago, we had a leak of a potential Secret Lair of Shocklands, and it looked pretty legit. Yeah, it's been confirmed. It hasn't been officially spoiled. The other 3 have been officially spoiled. The Shocklands haven't yet, so we'll talk about that in a second. Overall, though, we have one that is a basic land with, instead of full art, it's no art, which is very boring. Not going to spend a whole lot of time on that one, but that's what we got. We have a Mystical Archive, right? So Strixhaven just barely released, and there's the Mystical Archives version of cards. Well, now there's just a Secret Lair that's Mystical Archives. Kind of weird that they're doing that right alongside release of the actual Strixhaven product, but that's what they're doing. They have another one that's like more like concert fun, concert poster vibes, right? I think the Secret Lair set is called like, hey, my show's on this Friday, can you make it? Something like that, giving you that old underground music vibes. These ones are interesting, pretty interesting. And then, of course, we have the Shocklands. Let's dive in. First things first, we have these funny joke, meme, basic lands that are going to be expensive and I don't know, whatever. If that's your thing, sure. You don't like any art, you kind of want to be a little rebel, you want to be unique, you want to be ironic, there you go. Instead of having a full art land, you get a all text land. There's 5 of them, they're all the same. Not for me. So the Mystical Archive, this will be $30, and they pretty much just took $30 worth of singles and put them into Mystical Archive frames. So we have All Is Dust, for those of you who don't like having any fun. We have Artifact Mutation, which is pretty cool. I like that there's like fungi growing or jellyfish, whatever these things are. I mean, obviously they're supposed to be Saproling tokens, but they kind of look like jellyfish. Pretty cool. I like the souls reaching out here, these people like growing out of the roots. I think it's sweet, sweet art. Drown in the Loch, this is absolutely beautiful. I think it's just gorgeous how you have these merfolk, mermaids who are just pulling this hero down into the water. Looks like they're kind of like siren temptresses that lured him in and are sinking in beneath the deep. Really cool how that sword is there and just the silhouette. I'm a big fan of this art. Really cool card. Drown in the Loch is a great, well-designed card. It's powerful. It's not too oppressive. It's a great, flexible answer with some restrictions to it. I think it's a really cool card, and this is beautiful art for it. Next, we have Fracturing Gust, which is absolutely beautiful art here. I think this is just gorgeous. You get that naturalize or disenchant, mass board wipe effect. And I think this is absolutely stunning. The castle is just beautiful. This old school fantasy art, wonderful. Big fan of this. Now we have Fire Covenant, and I think this is, again, just fantastic art, just beautiful. So cool how they're doing that, get that blood oath, right? Just slicing the hand, and you can see the blood dripping from the blade and pouring out the fresh wound with the flame over the hand. This is just metal. This is gorgeous. Really, really cool art. Big fan of this. Honestly, this is like this is a piece of art that I would just hang. I would get a print of this, and I don't get a lot of Magic prints. This is definitely one that I think is really cool, and I can just stare at it forever. Really like this one a lot. Lastly, we have Fractured Identity, again, for that money card. The most of the money is going to be in the All Is Dust and Fractured Identity here as far as getting your value for the $30, right? This is basically $30 worth of singles, and this is gorgeous. Just really, really cool, right? The fractured glass, all the different eyes, and I like how each eye communicates a different emotion. That's a really, really cool idea, right? I mean, the main 2 eyes, where you'd expect to see them next to the face, those are the same. But other than that, every single one of these eyes reflects a different emotion. Really cool. I think it's fun. I think the lines overall along the robes and everything very much fit the Mystical Archive frame. So I like the continuity there. Awesome. Awesome card. Moving on to our show is on Friday, Can You Make It? So again, this is the whole idea of having like band posters. So we'll start off with Nature's Lore. This is beautiful. I really like this art. The owl is really cool. You got those crazy looking eyebrows. You have the classic green mana symbol. I like whenever mana symbols are different with these. I like when they go all out and make these really different. And here we have the vertical mana costing cast, right? Where you have the generic right beneath it. But we do still have the original Christopher Rush tree here for the green mana symbol. And then how this is like a tombstone, it looks like the owl is perched on, where we get the text box. Really cool. This is fun. This is beautiful. Wrath of God. Again, this card's been printed a million times. It's like a $5 card, nothing too crazy price-wise. Again, we get the vertical. This one's swapped. So on the last card, we had the the colored mana symbol above the generic. This time we have the generic 2 above the mana symbols. So again, there's just a lot of difference here. There's a lot of freedom that they're giving these artists to say you can basically put whatever you want on a piece of paper, and you're going to see what I mean in a minute here with one of these, and we'll call it a Magic card. You know, there's no real rules anymore to what the design needs to be, where the text needs to be, or what. You know, if you want a new, fun, fancy Wrath of God, sure, go for it. It's got the all-seeing eye for you Illuminati fans. The text is not my favorite, this like psychedelic text, but you know, if this is for you, go for it. Gamble. Now this is a fun one. I mean, it's a fun card, and we got some fun art going on. There's a lot of craziness. There's a lot of gore. We got some blood. We got some brains, some guts, some crazy zombie eyes, multiple skulls, a sword. You know, a couple swords. This is a metal card. It's another brain in the background. Got that classic Christopher Rush mountain symbol, right? The red mana symbol there. You can barely read, but that does say sorcery. In case you're wondering, this is like a classic metal band text where you can't actually read it. So, you know, that's great. Then with the rules text, they did make it a little bit more clear, so you can read Gamble just fine. Decree of Pain. Now, you've noticed I kept talking about whether or not they used the original mana symbol, and the reason I've been doing that is because they did not on this one. Here you get some new skulls. So instead of the OG Christopher Rush skulls for the swamp, you get these little fun skulls. A little more cartoonish, a little more goofy. You know, it's cool. What I like about this art is the overall use of negative space, right? All these ghouls and the hands are all negative space, which is really, really cool. I like that a lot. You know, and then again, in the cycling, we get those fun skulls. You get a couple lightning bolts down here. So fun card. Again, you know, just a fun, different, unique art. Lets people flavorize their own decks. And lastly, we have Preordain, and this is what I was talking about, where you can basically do whatever you want these days and call it a Magic card. So cool, they're giving the artists, you know, some freedom to do whatever they want, but the mana symbol is in the middle of the art. Like, if you don't know what Preordain is, you have no idea what this costs. Now, one thing I really do like is that they used little droplets in the negative space here in the text, in the Preordain name. Right, so in the R, the O, and the A, you really get those water drops where the circles are. So that's fun. I like that a lot. This card is bonkers. This art, there's a lot going on. It's very busy. Again, not for me. Too colorful, too crazy, too snazzy, but everyone's different. And this is a fun card for some people. So that wraps up the 3 officially spoiled Secret Lairs, but we did get a video clip that they tweeted out, the Secret Lair Twitter, that does show a breeding pool. You're gonna have a blurry little clip here. It's not beautiful. It's a little screenshot of a blurry image. It's the best I can do right now. And so here are all the 10 Shocklands. Again, this goes back to the leak images that came out like a week ago, so they're not that great, not high quality. I apologize about that. The whole idea here is that they're showing the Shocklands now on a different plane, right? So we've had the Shocklands printed 3 times. Every time it's when we've gone to Ravnica. Now you get them in different planes. And I think this is a really cool, fun idea. Right? It just lets you have more variety. It lets people stylize and personalize their decks. And sure, if you're a purist and you say, you know, the Shocklands are only for Ravnica, then these won't be for you. Go get yourself some original Ravnica Shocks. They're beautiful, they're gorgeous. It's not taking away from those. But for those who want something different, you got it. And this is cool. I like the idea that you can say, hey, you know, like the Godless Shrine, this is clearly Amonkhet. And if you happen to love Amonkhet, or you love Egyptian lore, or maybe Amonkhet was your first set, now you can have your Godless Shrines represent that, right? You can create your own little personal histories and personalize your deck. That's one of the funnest parts about Magic, is collecting and personalizing your deck. Again, this Watery Grave, I think this is from Ixalan. It looks like it, right? So again, if you love Pirates, or if Ixalan was your first set, now you can have Watery Graves that are yours, and they just mean something special to you. I just bumped my mic. I hope that doesn't make a horrible sound. Overall, Secret Lairs aren't going anywhere. We don't know the price of this one yet. It's probably going to be $50, maybe even more. I mean, if you can get, I don't know if they're going to do it in 2 different ones, or you have to buy all 10, but if you can buy, oh, I said $50. That'd be $100 for 10 Shocklands, right? They're roughly $10 each to get the cheapest versions of them, you know, the newest printed ones from Guilds and Allegiance. So if these are $10 a piece, that's, again, they're just going to print these right at market value. We've seen them do this, right? The price point is, we're going to take a bunch of cards, we're going to take a couple, we're going to look at what the expected value of these would be for the, you know, the printings, the cheapest printings of them, and then we're just going to print them at that price point. So I'm guessing these will probably be about $10 a pop, which means, are they going to have a $100 Secret Lair? Or are you going to have 2 different Secret Lairs? You know, one that's going to be both of them be $50. You know, maybe they do the allies all together and the enemies all together. We'll see what they do. Again, details to come. But for now, this is all happening. These are going to be released for an entire month. We don't have the details on this. They just say there's some Secret Lair event going on. It starts on Monday, April 26th, and it's going through the end of May. So I don't know if you can order these for a full month. Remember, they used to have those 24-hour drop windows, and I think they want to say, hey, let's give people more time to buy these. Or maybe they're going to do 1 week for each of these drops. I'm not sure. They'll give us the details to come, but these are coming here soon. And thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next time.